Oh, yes. I'm just looking at this competitive bidding, a process in which bids are sent to several bidders, all of whom are treated equally and are bidding under similar terms. Yes. Then there's that compos mentis of sound mind, the opposite of non compos mentis. Yes. And then there's the compound interest, interest paid on interest, that has been added to principal. Compound interest pays on the principal plus accrued interest. Ooch. Then there's that compounding a crime, a situation which an injured party agrees to not prosecute the perpetrator of a crime in exchange for a bribe or some monetary reward. Ooch. Now, when you think about this compounding of a crime of using forgeries, yes, using fraud, pooch, and then using fraud on the court, this compounding of crime. I'm thinking you're getting another decade for this one, okay? Now, you decided you spend the rest of your life in prison because if one member of the family goes to prison, you all do. Now, let's say there's a competitive bidding for the actual government work of the United States. Yes. Could you get me the actual bids that were put out to bid for every city, county, tribal government, state, and the federal government, and all of those that were aware that they could bid on a project? Yes. That thought, well, I'd like to get one of these government contracts. I'd like to be a supplier. Yes. Now, I did see a truck this morning drive by, and there's what's known as renting equipment. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of contractors, they can't afford to have all the equipment owned by themselves. They oftentimes rent equipment when fulfilling a bid to provide some sort of service or some manufactured product for a government. Yes. Could you get me all of the bids of the United States for the last 40 years? Yes. Those that were told about the bid and then those that won the bid. Pooch. Now, I know how the family does this, okay? They completely lie about everything they're doing. They scheme and maneuver so they can get their 5 or 10% of everything that's bid as a. Now, let's say you want your family to get the bid in the county for the remodeling or building of any government structure. Cha 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 cha. And I find out that the bee on them happens to know the actual bids of all the other bidders. Pooch. Now, you make it look like this is a fair and equitable bidding process, but it's really bid rigging, isn't it? Yeah. So when we look at the actual finances of every city, county, tribal government, and state, I'm going to make absolutely fucking sure, okay? I'm going to make fucking sure. Now, I'm going to need to know all rented and leased equipment that was used to fulfill every government bid for the last 40 years and the actual signatures of those that decided to rent the equipment so as to fulfill their bid because the family arranged for them to get paid or they arranged for themselves to get paid. Now, it would be a fraudulent bid process. Yes, it would. So just get me rental equipment pooch, in the phone book. And then just grab the server and just look at were any of the renters of the actual equipment or leaseors of any of the equipment actually those that won the bid for any project. Now, I know you keep the money in the family, do you? Pooch. It could be, all right.